Captain Hyunwoo Kim walked through the massive shipyard floating above Mars. Workers in spacesuits moved like ants around the enormous black shape taking form in the construction bay. The ship was 3 times larger than anything humans had ever built before. Its dark hull seemed to eat light instead of reflecting it. Engineer Bo-Ra Lee met him at the viewing platform. She wiped oil from her hands with a dirty cloth. Her eyes sparkled with excitement as she looked at their creation. "She's almost ready," Bo-Ra said. 3 years of work, and we finally did it. We built something the aliens said was impossible. Hyunwoo studied the technical displays showing the ship's systems. Numbers and diagrams covered every screen. Most of it looked like science fiction even to him. "Explain it to me again," he said. "What makes this ship so special?" Bo-Ra pulled up a hologram of the ship's core. The reactor doesn't use normal fuel. It grabs dark matter directly from space and turns it into pure energy. One of these reactors could power Earth for 1,000 years. And the hull? Adaptive. Nanomaterials. When something hits it, the hull learns. It gets stronger and smarter. After a few attacks from the same weapon, that weapon becomes useless against us. Hyunwoo whistled softly. He had commanded ships for 15 years, but nothing like this. "What about weapons?" Bo-Ra's smile grew wider. "Plasma cannons that channel energy from the nearest star, quantum torpedoes that can bend space itself, and the reality hammer." Reality hammer? It hits so hard that physics breaks down for a few seconds. Whatever gets hit just stops existing. Before Hyunwoo could respond, a young officer hurried toward them. "Sir, Admiral Jinho Park needs to see you immediately. He says it's urgent." Admiral Park waited in the station's command center. His gray hair and lined face showed the stress of recent events. Behind him, holographic displays showed official documents in alien languages. "Captain Kim," the Admiral said without greeting. "We have a serious problem. The Galactic Concordat has filed formal complaints about our ship." "What kind of complaints?" Admiral Park activated the displays. 3 major species have declared our ship illegal. The Vorthak, Supremacy, the Etherian Collective, and the Krillian Empire. They say it violates the Warfare Limitation Treaty we signed 20 years ago. Hyunwoo read the translated documents. The aliens used words like dangerously unstable and crimes against physics to describe human technology. What do they want us to do? Destroy the ship immediately. They've given us 30 days or they'll take military action against Earth. Bo-Ra stepped forward. "Sir, those aliens are just scared. Humans have always been better at innovation. We take their basics, science, and improve it. That's what we do best." Admiral Park nodded. "I agree, Engineer Lee, but politics is complicated. Half the galaxy thinks we've gone too far this time." "What are our orders?" Hyunwoo asked. "Officially prepare the ship for destruction." Admiral Park paused and lowered his voice. "Unofficially, get her ready to fight. My sources say they won't wait 30 days. The next few hours were busy. Hyunwoo met his hand-picked crew. Navigation Officer Soo-Jin Choi was young but brilliant at plotting impossible courses through space. Weapons Specialist Tae-Hyun Yoon had trained on every human weapon system ever built. Medical Officer Ye-Jin Han was the best combat doctor in the fleet. Bo-Ra gave them a tour of the ship they would call Indomitable. The corridors hummed with barely contained energy. The walls seemed to pulse like a living heartbeat. "Only 60% of our systems are online," Bo-Ra explained. "The reality hammer isn't ready. Half the quantum torpedoes are still being assembled, but she'll fly and she'll fight." On the bridge, every surface displayed information about the ship's condition. The dark matter reactor showed as a swirling mass of captured energy. The adaptive hull rippled like liquid metal across the external cameras. "Sir," Soo-Jin called from her station. "Long-range sensors are detecting multiple contacts approaching from deep space." Hyunwoo felt his stomach drop. "How many?" "Still counting." "Sir, I'm reading over 200 ships. It's a massive fleet." Admiral Park's image appeared on the main screen. His expression was grim. "Captain, we're confirming the same readings. The Concordat fleet is moving toward Earth. They're not waiting for our answer." "Orders, sir?" "The politicians want to negotiate. I want you to launch immediately. Show them what human engineering can accomplish." "Sir, the ship isn't fully operational." "Captain," Admiral Park interrupted. In the border wars, we learned that perfect weapons don't win battles. Determination wins battles. Use what you have. Yunwu turned to his crew. All hands, prepare for immediate launch. The Indomitable moved away from the construction platform, like a giant awakening. Unlike normal ships with their roaring engines, this vessel moved quietly. The dark matter reactor bent space around the hull, allowing impossible acceleration. Alien fleet is broadcasting on all frequencies, Tae-hyun reported. They're demanding immediate surrender of the ship. Put them on screen, Hyunwoo ordered. An alien face filled the display. It was Vorthak, with gray skin and 4 black eyes. Its expression showed anger and disgust. Human vessel, the alien spoke in heavily accented English. You will surrender your illegal warship for safe disposal. Resistance will result in the destruction of your ship and crew. This is Captain Hyunwoo Kim of the UTS Indomitable, he replied calmly. Our ship operates in human space under human authority. You have no jurisdiction here. Your ship violates galactic law. It threatens the stability of civilized space. Then, you should have considered that before bringing 200 warships to threaten us. The alien's 4 eyes narrowed with anger. You cannot fight our entire fleet, human. Surrender now and your crew will be spared. Hyunwoo looked at his crew, working at their stations. These people had spent 3 years building something extraordinary. The aliens feared what humans could create when they stopped accepting limitations. You know what? Hyunwoo said with a slight smile. I think you're wrong about our chances. He cut the transmission and turned to his crew. All stations report. Battle ready. Let's see what this ship can really do. The alien fleet spread across space in perfect formation. Their ships were graceful and artistic, with flowing curves and elegant lines. They moved like dancers preparing for a performance. Sir, Bo-Ra's voice came through the comm system. Adaptive hull systems are active. Quantum weapons charged to 60% capacity. Dark matter reactor is stable and ready. Enemy fleet moving to attack positions, Soo-jin reported. Hyunwoo settled into the captain's chair. Around him, his crew worked with calm efficiency. Outside the viewports, 200 alien ships prepared to destroy them. The first battle would determine whether humanity's greatest creation would survive its first day of existence, whether 3 years of impossible engineering would prove the aliens right about human recklessness, or prove that humans could build miracles when the galaxy needed them most. All right, Hyunwoo said quietly to his crew. Let's show them what humans can do when we really try. The alien missiles came at them like a cloud of deadly stars. Hundreds of them streaked through space, each one glowing with enough energy to destroy a city. They moved faster than anything in Hyunwoo's experience. Incoming missiles, Soo-jin announced from her navigation station. Impact in 25 seconds. Let them come, Hyunwoo said calmly. Bo-Ra, show me what that adaptive hull can do. The missiles struck the Indomitable like a hammer hitting an anvil. The ship shook, but not as violently as it should have. On the hull monitoring displays, Hyunwoo watched something incredible happen. Where the missiles exploded, the black hull flowed and changed. It absorbed the energy from the blasts. Hull integrity at 97%, Bo-Ra reported with excitement. The nanomaterials are learning from each impact. They're actually getting stronger with every hit. Medical station reports no injuries, Ye-jin called out. The ship absorbed most of the impact energy. The alien fleet seemed surprised. Their opening barrage should have crippled any normal vessel. Instead, the Indomitable looked almost undamaged. Return fire, Hyunwoo ordered. Tae-hyun, let's show them our plasma cannons. Tae-hyun worked at his weapon controls with steady hands. Plasma cannons charging to full power. Target locked on. The lead battleship. The cannons fired with a sound like controlled thunder. But these weren't ordinary plasma weapons. They drew energy directly from the sun itself, channeling stellar fire across millions of kilometers. The beam that lashed out was brighter than lightning and hotter than a small star. The alien battleship took the hit directly amidships. The plasma beam cut through its hull like a knife through paper. The massive vessel split in half and exploded in a ball of fire that lit up the surrounding space. Direct hit, Tae-hyun confirmed. Enemy battleship completely destroyed. The alien fleet scattered in confusion. They had expected to face primitive human technology. Instead, they were fighting something that seemed to break the laws of physics. They're trying to surround us, Soo-jin observed, reforming into an encirclement pattern. Let them try, Hyunwoo replied. Bo-Ra, what can our engines do? Dark matter reactor is operating perfectly. We can manipulate space-time itself. Show me something impossible. Bo-Ra activated the quantum drive system. Space, around the Indomitable, began to bend and twist. The ship didn't move through space in the normal way. Instead, space moved around the ship. One moment they were in the center of the alien formation. The next, they appeared behind the enemy fleet. The aliens opened fire again, this time with energy weapons instead of missiles. Brilliant beams of concentrated light struck the Indomitable from multiple directions. But something amazing happened. The adaptive hull didn't just resist the energy. It absorbed it and stored it. The ship began to glow with captured power from the enemy weapons. Sir? Bo-Ra's voice carried wonder and disbelief. The hull is converting their attacks into power for our systems. They're making us stronger with every shot. Weapons now at 90% power, Taehyun reported. The aliens are charging our guns for us. Hyunwoo almost laughed at the irony. The enemy was literally powering up their target. Fire quantum torpedoes, full spread. The quantum torpedoes launched silently through space. These weapons were beyond anything previously imagined. They didn't just destroy their targets. They folded space around enemy ships, compressing them into points smaller than atoms. 6 alien vessels simply vanished from existence. What kind of weapon was that? Soo-Jin asked in amazement. Quantum compression torpedoes, Taehyun explained. They create a space-time fold that crushes the target into a singularity. The alien fleet was now in complete chaos. Their weapons were useless against the human ship. Their formation had collapsed into scattered groups trying to avoid the impossible weapons. But the aliens had one more surprise. From their largest ship, a massive dreadnought at the center of their formation, came a new type of attack. It was a gravity weapon that tried to crush the Indomitable with artificial black holes. Gravity distortion incoming, Soo-Jin warned. They're trying to create a black hole directly next to our hull. Countermeasures available? Hyunwoo asked. Working on it, Bo-Ra replied, her fingers flying over her controls. If I can invert our quantum field matrix, the artificial black hole formed right beside the ship. It should have torn the Indomitable apart with irresistible gravitational force. Instead, the ship's quantum field reversed the black hole's polarity. The gravity weapon turned inside out and sent a massive shockwave back toward the alien fleet. 15 enemy ships were crushed by their own weapon. Enemy ship count? Hyunwoo asked. 31 confirmed destroyers, Taehyun reported. Remaining alien fleet down to 169 vessels. The aliens tried one final desperate strategy. Their remaining ships linked together with energy beams, combining their power into a single massive weapon. They were going to channel everything they had into one devastating attack. Sir, Soo-Jin said urgently, they're linking all their remaining power into the flagship. That ship is about to become extremely dangerous. The alien flagship began to glow like a small sun. Energy flowed into it from every other ship in the fleet. The vessel grew larger as it absorbed more power. That's going to hurt when it fires, Yejin observed quietly. Bo-Ra, Hyunwoo called. How much energy do we have stored in the adaptive hull? Maximum capacity. Maybe too much. The nanomaterials can't hold much more. Can we release it all at once through the plasma cannons? Sir, that would be like firing a piece of the sun at them. The energy release might damage our own systems. Do it anyway. Bo-Ra hesitated for only a moment. Then her hands moved quickly over her controls, redirecting all the stored energy from the hull into the plasma weapons system. The ship's lights dimmed as massive amounts of power flowed to the guns. Plasma cannons at maximum overcharge, Taehyun reported. Sir, this is far beyond anything we've tested. Fire everything. The beam that erupted from the Indomitable was not just bright. It was a miniature piece of stellar fire given form and direction. It crossed the distance to the alien flagship in an instant and struck with the force of a small supernova. The alien flagship didn't just explode. It became a temporary star. The blast spread outward, destroying every ship connected to it by energy beams. The entire alien weapon network vanished in a sphere of nuclear fire that could be seen from Earth. When the light faded, only 37 alien ships remained scattered across space. Sir, Soo-Jin reported quietly, remaining enemy vessels are retreating to hyperspace. Hyunwoo nodded. Let them go. They have a story to tell. What story is that? Yejin asked. That humans build things the universe has never seen before. That we don't accept limitations just because someone else thinks they're necessary, and that maybe threatening Earth wasn't their smartest decision. On the main screen, the last alien ships disappeared into hyperspace, leaving behind the wreckage of over 160 vessels. The Indomitable hung in space, barely scratched, surrounded by the debris of the attacking fleet. Status report, Hyunwoo ordered. Hull integrity at 94%, Bora reported. All major systems operating normally. The ship exceeded every performance prediction. Casualties? 4 crew members with minor injuries from weapon discharge shock, Yejin said. Nothing serious. Sir, Sujin called. Admiral Park is requesting communication. The Admiral appeared on screen, his face showing pride mixed with concern. Captain Kim, that was quite a demonstration. We recorded everything. The entire galaxy will see what happened here. Is that good or bad, sir? Both. You've proven that human technology can defeat any conventional fleet, but you've also proven that the aliens were right to fear us. Hyunwoo looked around his bridge. His crew had performed flawlessly. The ship had done things that seemed impossible. They had faced overwhelming odds and won completely. What are our orders now, Admiral? Return to Earth. The diplomats want to try negotiating with the Galactic Concordat. They think there might still be a peaceful solution. And if there isn't? Admiral Park smiled grimly. Then we build more ships like the Indomitable, and we teach the galaxy that humans don't back down when threatened. As the ship turned toward home, Hyunwoo thought about what they had accomplished. They had built a weapon so advanced that other species called it illegal, and they had just proven. Those species had good reason to be concerned. The question was, what would the galaxy do about it now? Ambassador Minho Kang stood in the great assembly hall of Nexus Prime, feeling very small. The hall was enormous, designed to hold representatives from 12 different alien species. Each delegation sat in specially built sections that matched their biological needs. Some breathed different gases, others lived in liquid tanks, and a few existed as pure energy. The humans had the smallest section by far, just Minho and Dr. Yoon Young Shin, humanity's leading expert on alien technology. They faced thousands of angry alien representatives who wanted to see humanity punished for building the Indomitable. High Jurist Tormak of the Vorthak Supremacy stood to address the assembly. He was tall and gray with 4 black eyes that seemed to burn with anger. His voice echoed through the massive hall. Fellow members of the Concordat, Tormak began. We gathered today because of a crime against galactic peace. The humans have built a ship of mass destruction. They have violated every treaty we have signed in good faith. Angry sounds came from the alien delegations. Clicks, hisses, and electronic pulses filled the air. The vessel they call Indomitable destroyed 163 of our ships in less than 2 hours, Tormak continued. It used weapons that violate the laws of physics. It turned our own attacks against us. This is not warfare. This is an abomination. The Etherian delegate spoke next. It was a being of pure energy contained in a crystal shell that pulsed with blue light. The humans have created technology that threatens reality itself. Their quantum weapons tear holes in space and time. The Krillian representative clicked its sharp mandibles as it spoke. The insect-like creature's voice was translated by machines. They have broken the Warfare Limitation Treaty. No species may develop weapons capable of destroying entire solar systems. When Minho's turn came to speak, the hall fell silent. Thousands of alien eyes focused on him. He felt the weight of their disapproval but stood straight. Honored delegates, he began, I understand your concerns. But I ask you to consider one important fact. Every piece of technology on our ship came from knowledge you shared with us. Surprised murmurs rippled through the assembly. The dark matter. Reactor uses principles from Vorthak engineering manuals. The adaptive hull was inspired by Etherian energy manipulation theories. Our quantum weapons are based on Krillian mathematical formulas. Tormak's 4 eyes narrowed dangerously. You pervert our peaceful sciences into tools of war. No. Dr. Young Shin stood up beside Minho. We see connections that you choose to ignore. We combine ideas in ways you never considered. She activated a holographic display showing technical specifications. Look at your own scientific records. For over 1,000 years, each of your species has possessed all the knowledge needed to build ships like ours. But you didn't. Do you know why? Because we are civilized beings, the Etherian delegate pulsed with indignation. Because you are afraid, Dr. Shin replied calmly. You limit your own growth. You create rules about what cannot be discovered. You treat knowledge like a dangerous weapon instead of a tool for advancement. The hall exploded in angry sounds. The aliens were deeply offended by her words. The Concordate Chancellor raised one massive hand for silence. The ancient being whose species had founded the Alliance spoke in a voice like distant thunder. Dr. Shin, are you claiming that our caution is misguided? I'm saying that humans approach problems differently. When we encounter a barrier, we don't accept that it cannot be overcome. We look for ways around it, over it, or through it. And if breaking through destroys everything, Tormak demanded, then we learn to build better protections, Minho answered. At that moment, the main communication screen activated. Captain Hyunwoo Kim appeared, broadcasting from the bridge of the Indomitable. The ship was in Earth orbit, but its quantum communication system could reach anywhere in the galaxy instantly. Honored delegates, Captain Kim said, I have been monitoring this discussion. With your permission, I would like to demonstrate something important. The Chancellor nodded slowly. You may proceed, Captain. Our most controversial weapon is the Reality Hammer. It creates quantum distortions that temporarily break physical laws. You consider it the most dangerous device ever constructed. It is an offense against nature itself, Tormak declared. Perhaps, but observe this demonstration. The screen showed space around Earth. Several large asteroids floated near the ship, leftover debris from the solar system's formation. These asteroids contain rare elements needed for advanced medical equipment, Captain Kim explained. Normal mining techniques would take months and destroy most of the valuable materials. He gave orders to his crew. The Indomitable fired a Reality Hammer torpedo at the largest asteroid. Instead of destroying the rock, something extraordinary happened. The asteroid didn't explode. The quantum field around it began reorganizing its atomic structure. The solid rock separated into perfectly organized layers of different materials, each one pure and ready for use. The Reality Hammer doesn't only destroy, Captain Kim continued. At modified power settings, it can reorganize matter at the quantum level. We can transform worthless rock into pure medical-grade materials in seconds. The alien delegates fell, completely silent. They had never imagined such a use for weapons technology. Your instruments of mass destruction are also tools of mass creation, Dr. Shin observed. That is what humans do. We see potential where others see only danger. The debate continued for 4 more days. Some alien species began to reconsider their positions. The peaceful Meridian Federation spoke in favor of humanity. Perhaps we have much to learn from human innovation, their delegate said, but others remained firmly opposed. Tormak and his allies insisted that humans were too dangerous to remain in galactic civilization. On the final day, the vote was called. Each of the 12 species cast 1 vote. 8 votes would be needed to expel humanity from the Concordate. The votes came in one by one. The Vorthak Supremacy voted for expulsion. The Krillian Empire voted for expulsion. The Draconian Hegemony voted for expulsion. The Iron Confederacy voted for expulsion. The Shadow Collective voted for expulsion. The Binary Coalition voted for expulsion. 6 votes for expulsion. It seemed humanity's fate was sealed, but then the remaining votes were counted. The Etherian Collective voted for probationary membership. The Meridian Federation voted for probationary membership. The Crystal Alliance voted for probationary membership. The Harmony Union voted for probationary membership. The Tree Singer Communes voted for probationary membership. 5 votes to keep humanity in the Concordate. That left one final vote. The ancient builders, who had created the Galactic Concordat thousands of years ago. They rarely spoke, and when they did, everyone listened carefully. The builder representative was older than most star systems. Its voice was like the whisper of eternity itself. We have observed this debate with great interest, it said slowly. The humans remind us of our own species in our youth. We too pushed beyond accepted boundaries. We too were called dangerous by established civilizations. The hall was absolutely silent. The question is not whether humans are dangerous. They clearly are. The question is whether that danger can mature into wisdom. We choose to abstain from this vote. The final tally was 6 votes for expulsion, 5 for probation, and 1 abstention. According to Concordat law, 8 votes were required to remove a member species. The motion had failed. Humanity would remain in the Galactic Concordat, but the galaxy was now divided. Half the species considered humans a threat requiring constant surveillance. As the assembly ended, Tormach approached Minho. His 4 eyes burned with cold anger. "This decision will not stand, human," the Vorthak said quietly. "There are those among us who will not accept this outcome. You have made powerful enemies today." "We have also made valuable friends," Minho replied, "and we have shown that humans can be trusted with advanced technology." "Have you?" Tormach asked. "Your ship can sterilize planets. Your technology grows more powerful each day. What happens when you decide that the rest of us are obstacles?" "To your expansion?" Minho met the alien's 4-eyed gaze directly. "Then I suppose you will discover what humans are truly capable of when we are genuinely angry." As the delegates filed out of the Great Assembly Hall, Dr. Shin turned to Minho. "Do you believe we made the right choice?" "I believe we made the only choice possible. We showed them our true nature." "And what is our nature?" Minho looked up at the stars visible through the hall's transparent dome. Somewhere among them, the Indomitable was heading back to Earth, carrying technology that could reshape galactic civilization. "We are the species that refuses to accept defeat," he said, finally. "For better or worse, that is who we are." Intelligence Officer Dongwook Song stared at the coded message on his screen. He had spent 4 days breaking the encryption, and what he discovered made him feel sick with worry. "Captain," he called across the bridge of the Indomitable, "you need to see this right now." Captain Hyunwoo Kim walked over to Dongwook's station. The ship was patrolling near Saturn, watching for new threats after the Concordat trial. "What did you find?" Hyunwoo asked. "Intercepted communications from deep space. The message uses old Krillian battle codes." Dongwook highlighted parts of the decoded text. "Admiral Zekthar is building a secret war fleet." "How big?" 500. "Ships, maybe more. They call it the Purification Fleet. Their target is Earth and every human military installation." Hyunwoo felt cold fear in his stomach. 500 ships was massive, far larger than anything they had faced before. "Are you certain about this intelligence?" "Sir, they've stopped trying to hide their plans. Look at this." Dongwook brought up another screen. "They're sending recruitment messages to every anti-human group in the galaxy. They're saying the Concordat was too weak to handle the human problem." Admiral Jinho Park's image appeared on the main communication screen. He was calling from Earth Command, and his face showed serious concern. "Captain Kim," the Admiral said grimly, "we've confirmed your intelligence reports. How quickly can you return to Earth?" 6 hours at maximum speed, Hyunwoo replied. "But, sir, one ship cannot fight 500. You will not be alone. The relentless and unstoppable are ready for combat. 3 ships against 500 is still terrible odds, but it's what we have available. The relentless and unstoppable were sister ships to the Indomitable. They had been built secretly over the past 6 months, using everything learned from the original design." "Admiral," Hyunwoo said, "do we know when this fleet plans to attack?" "According to your reports, they're already moving. They should reach our solar system in 36 hours. Then we intercept them before they get here." Admiral Park nodded agreement. "Exactly my thinking. Take your ship and meet the other vessels. Stop the enemy fleet as far from Earth as possible." 4 hours later, the Indomitable joined its sister ships at the edge of the solar system. Captain Hyunwoo transferred to the lead ship for a strategy, meeting with the other commanders. Captain So-Young Park commanded the Relentless. She was younger than Hyunwoo, but known for creative tactical thinking. Captain Woo Jin Han led the Unstoppable. He was a veteran fighter with a reputation for aggressive tactics. 3 against 500, Captain Park said, studying the tactical displays. "We need to be very clever about this." "The enemy will probably approach through the Helix Nebula," Captain Han observed. "The nebula gives them cover, But it also limits their vision. We could use that against them. Hyunwoo's tactical officer, Yoo-Jin Lee, had joined the meeting. She had been developing new battle strategies since their first fight. "I have a plan," Yoo-Jin said. "Instead of fighting ship to ship, we use the nebula itself as a weapon." She activated a holographic display of the nebula's structure. The nebula contains dense gas clouds and electromagnetic storms. If we use our quantum weapons to destabilize the region, create a gravitational trap. Captain Park finished the thought. Force them into areas where our weapons work best. Exactly. We position ourselves at key points and channel their fleet into killing zones. Captain Han smiled with approval. I like this plan, but we need perfect timing. One mistake and they overwhelm us completely. They spent the next 8 hours planning every detail. Each ship would take a different position in the nebula. They would use hit-and-run attacks, striking quickly and then disappearing into the gas clouds. When the enemy fleet arrived, it was even larger than expected. Dong-wook's final count showed 628 ships of various types. The largest was Admiral Zekthar's flagship, an enormous battlecruiser called the Eternal Dominion. "Sir," reported Dr. Min-seo Kim, the Indomitable's science officer, "I'm detecting unusual energy patterns from several enemy ships." "What kind of unusual?" Hyunwoo asked. "They appear to have adaptive hull systems, similar to ours, but less advanced, and some of their weapons show quantum energy signatures." Hyunwoo's heart sank. "They've been copying our technology." "It appears so, sir. Not very good copies, but functional enough to be dangerous. This changed everything. The human advantage had been superior technology. If the aliens could duplicate their weapons and defenses, the battle would be much harder." "Signal the other ships," Hyunwoo ordered. "Tell them the enemy has reverse-engineered our technology. We need new tactics." The battle began when the alien fleet entered the nebula. The human ships attacked from 3 directions at once. Quantum torpedoes and plasma beams struck from the gas clouds, destroying enemy vessels before they could respond. But the aliens learned quickly. Their copied adaptive hulls began to resist the attacks. Their crude quantum weapons started working more effectively. "Sir," Taehyun reported from weapons control, "our plasma cannons are losing effectiveness. The enemy hulls are adapting to our energy frequencies." "Switch to reality hammer mode," Hyunwoo ordered. "Low power settings. Let's see them adapt to quantum distortion." The reality hammer torpedoes struck several alien ships. Instead of destroying them, the quantum fields reorganized their hull structures. The alien adaptive systems were turned inside out, leaving the ships defenseless. "Direct hits confirmed," Taehyun announced. "Enemy ships are losing their adaptive capabilities." But Admiral Zekthar was learning from each exchange. He began using his larger ships to protect smaller ones. The alien fleet formed defensive groups with overlapping weapon coverage. "They're getting smarter," Yoo-Jin observed. "We need to change our approach." That's when Bo-Ra made an incredible discovery. "Sir," she called from engineering, "I think I can link our quantum reactors with the other ships. If we synchronize our systems, we might create a collective intelligence." "Explain that," Hyunwoo requested. "The ships would share information instantly. They would learn from each other's experiences and coordinate automatically. Like 3 minds becoming one super mind." "Do it!" Bo-Ra began the linking process. Suddenly, Hyunwoo could sense the other ships as if they were parts of his own body. He knew exactly where they were, what they were doing, and what they planned to do next. The 3 human ships began moving like professional dancers. They anticipated each other's actions perfectly. When one ship fired, the others were already positioning to support it. When one was attacked, the others were ready to defend it. The aliens had never encountered such coordinated combat. The human ships seemed to read each other's thoughts. They struck with perfect timing and defended with flawless cooperation, but the enemy fleet was adapting too. Admiral Zekthar began connecting his ships with energy beams, trying to copy the human coordination system. "Sir," Dr. Min-seo reported, "the enemy fleet is attempting to create their own network connection. If they succeed, they'll have coordination plus overwhelming numbers." The battle became a race. Could the humans destroy enough enemy ships before the aliens learned to coordinate effectively? "All ships," Hyunwoo broadcast to his linked companions. "Maximum firepower. We finish this now." The 3 human ships unleashed everything they possessed. Plasma beams, quantum torpedoes, reality hammer strikes, and weapons that bent physical laws. The nebula lit up like a small galaxy as energy weapons carved through space. Alien ships exploded by the dozens. But more kept coming, and their coordination was improving rapidly. "Sir," Sujin called urgently, "long-range sensors detect another fleet approaching. It's massive." "How massive?" "Over 1,000 ships. They'll arrive in 8 hours." Hyunwoo realized they weren't just fighting a rogue fleet. This was a full invasion. The moderate alien species had lost control of their military extremists. "Signal Earth Command," he ordered. "Tell them we need every available ship. This isn't about the indomitable anymore. This is a war for human survival." As the battle continued around them, Hyunwoo wondered if 3 ships, no matter how advanced, could stand against the combined military power of half the galaxy. Soon, he would find out if human determination was stronger than alien numbers. Commander Ji-hoon Baek stood on the bridge of the UTS Prometheus, humanity's newest warship. Around him, his crew prepared to face the largest alien fleet ever assembled. The war had been going on for 10 months, and both sides had learned from every battle. The Prometheus was different from the Indomitable. Where the older ship was built for raw power, the Prometheus was designed for evolution. Its hull could grow new parts during combat. Its weapons could change and adapt based on what they were fighting. "Sir," called Science Officer Nara Kim, "I'm reading the approaching alien fleet. 1,312 ships. They're using formations we haven't seen before." Ji-hoon nodded grimly. The aliens had been studying human tactics. They were no longer the same enemies who had first attacked Earth. "Status of our sister ships?" Ji-hoon asked. "The Icarus and Phoenix are in position," reported Navigation Officer Jun Seo-yoon. "All 3 ships are connected through the quantum network." The quantum network was humanity's greatest breakthrough. It allowed ships to share not just information, but actual abilities. If one ship learned a new defense, all connected ships gained that knowledge immediately. Admiral Jinho Park appeared on the main screen from Earth Command. His face showed the stress of months of constant warfare. "Commander Baek," the Admiral said, "the Concordat Council has finally agreed to send military support, but their fleet won't arrive for 4 days. You must hold the line until then." "Understood, sir. What about Captain Kim and the original ships?" "They're still fighting in the Centauri sector. They've been holding off 3 separate alien fleets for the past 2 weeks. You're alone for this battle." Ji-hoon looked at his crew. They were young, but trained on the most advanced technology humanity had ever created. The Prometheus-class ships represented everything humans had learned about space combat. "Sir," Nara called with urgency, "the alien fleet is entering weapon range. I'm detecting massive energy buildups across their entire formation." The enemy had learned from their previous defeats. Instead of attacking in waves, they planned to fire everything at once. Thousands of missiles and energy beams would fill space between the fleets. "Activate defensive evolution," Ji-hoon ordered. "Let the ship adapt to survive." The Prometheus did something amazing. Its hull began to flow like living metal. New structures grew from its surface. Energy shields, defensive weapons, and systems that hadn't existed moments before. The ship was literally evolving to meet the immediate threat. The alien attacks struck like a wave of pure destruction, but the Prometheus and its sister ships absorbed the energy and converted it into new capabilities. Where normal ships would have been destroyed, the human vessels became stronger. "Hull evolution at 50%, Nara reported. "We're growing new quantum processing cores to handle the energy input." "Return fire," Ji-hoon ordered. "Show them what we've learned." The human ships fired back with weapons that changed as they traveled through space. Plasma beams that split into multiple targets. Quantum torpedoes that learned from enemy defenses and adapted during flight. Reality distortion fields that made enemy ships forget their own existence. But the aliens had been learning too. Their ships used adaptive formations that changed based on incoming weapons. Their hulls incorporated primitive copies of human evolution technology. "Sir," called Weapons Officer Hai-Jin Lee, "the enemy ships are adapting to our attacks. Their hulls are learning from our weapon patterns." "Then we evolve faster," Ji-hoon replied. "Quantum network, full synchronization, share all evolutionary data with the fleet." The three human ships began changing rapidly. They shared every adaptation, every new capability, every learned defense. They evolved together, becoming something greater than individual vessels. The battle became a contest of evolution. Each side adapted to the other's attacks. New weapons appeared and were countered. New defenses were created and overcome. The ships on both sides began to look less like machines and more like living creatures of metal and energy. "Sir?" Ra said with excitement. "I think we're winning the evolution race. Our ships are adapting faster than theirs." But then, something unexpected happened. The largest alien ship, a massive command vessel at the center of their formation, began to glow with strange energy. "What is that ship doing?" Ji-hoon asked. Analyzing now, Nara worked frantically. "Sir, it's drawing energy from all the other ships in the fleet. It's becoming some kind of superweapon." The alien command ship grew larger as energy flowed into it. Its hull expanded and changed shape. New weapon systems appeared along its surface. It was evolving like the human ships, but using the power of its entire fleet. "That shouldn't be possible," Hee-jin said. "No single ship can handle that much energy." "Unless," Nara said slowly, "they're not treating it as one ship anymore. They're turning their entire fleet into a single organism." Ji-hoon realized what was happening. The aliens had learned not just to copy human technology, but to improve on it. They were using their numerical advantage to create something humans had never imagined. "Sir," Junseo called urgently, "the supership is targeting Earth's moon. If it fires at full power, it could destroy our entire lunar colonies." Ji-hoon made a quick decision. "All ships emergency evolution. We need to match their power output." "Sir," Nara warned, "if we channel that much energy through our ships, we might not survive the process. Then we better evolve quickly enough to handle it." The three human ships began to connect more deeply than ever before. Not just their information systems, but their actual physical structures. Energy flowed between them as they began to merge into a single entity. The Prometheus grew larger, absorbing components from its sister ships. New weapon systems appeared faster than the eye could follow. The ship's hull became a flowing mass of adaptive metal that changed constantly. But the alien supership was ready first. It fired an energy beam powered by over 1,000 ships. The beam was so intense, it created a temporary crack in space-time itself. The merged human ship, now calling itself the Unity, met the attack directly. Its evolved hull absorbed the incredible energy and used it to fuel further evolution. The ship grew larger and more complex, developing capabilities that seemed impossible. "Sir," Nara's voice came from everywhere at once as the ship's consciousness expanded. "We're becoming something entirely new. The ship is developing its own intelligence." Ji-hoon could feel it too. The Unity was no longer just a machine. It was thinking, learning, adapting independently. It had become a new form of life. The battle between the Unity and the alien supership shook space itself. Reality bent around their weapons. Time flowed differently near the massive vessels. They were fighting with forces that could reshape entire star systems. But then something even more unexpected happened. Dr. Yoon Shin's voice reached them from Earth through quantum communication. She had been working on a theoretical project. "Commander, Bayek," her voice carried across space, "I'm transmitting new programming. Instead of destroying the alien ship, try to heal it." "Heal it?" Ji-hoon asked. "How do we heal something trying to destroy us?" "Use the reality hammer technology in reverse. Instead of breaking down structures, build them up. Instead of destroying, create and repair." The Unity considered this new approach. Its evolved intelligence processed the possibilities in microseconds. Then it did something no weapon had ever done before. It fired a creation beam at the alien supership. Instead of destroying the massive vessel, the beam began to repair it. Damaged sections were restored. Corrupted systems were healed. The angry consciousness driving the combined alien fleet began to calm as their pain was taken away. "What are you doing to us?" came a transmission from the alien ship. It was Admiral Zekthar, but his voice was confused instead of angry. "We're showing you what human technology really does," Ji-hoon replied. "We don't just build weapons. We build tools for making everything better." The healing beam continued working. Not just repairing the alien ship, but improving it. making it more efficient, more beautiful, more alive. The Unity was sharing its evolution technology not as a weapon, but as a gift. One by one, the alien ships stopped firing. Their crews watched in amazement as their vessels were healed and improved by human technology. Many had been damaged in previous battles. Now they were better than they had ever been. Why? Admiral Zekthar asked finally. Why help us when we came here to destroy you? Because, Ji-hoon answered, humans don't just adapt to survive. We adapt to help others survive too. That's what makes us who we are. The battle was over, but the war was far from finished. Half the galaxy still saw humanity as a threat, but for the first time, some aliens were beginning to understand humans differently. As teachers, as healers, as the species that could turn instruments of war into tools of growth and improvement. The question remained, would the rest of the galaxy learn this lesson before it was too late for everyone? Admiral Hyunwoo Kim stood on the bridge of the Indomitable, now evolved far beyond its original design. The ship had grown during the year-long war, learning from every battle. Its hull flowed like living metal, constantly adapting to new situations. Around Earth's orbit, an amazing sight-filled space. Human ships worked alongside alien vessels, repairing damage from the long conflict. The healing technology first used by the Unity had spread throughout both fleets. "Sir," reported Navigation Officer Soo-jin Choi, "the Concordat Peace Delegation is asking permission to come aboard." "Let them come," Hyunwoo replied. "It's time to end this properly." The war had changed everything. What started as a fight over illegal weapons had become something much bigger. Humans had proven they could build technology beyond anything the galaxy had seen. But more importantly, they had proven they could use that technology to help instead of harm. Ambassador Min-ho Kang arrived with the alien delegation. With him came Admiral Zekthar, the former enemy commander who now spoke for the moderate factions within the Concordat. "Admiral Kim," Zekthar said, his 4 eyes showing respect instead of anger. "Your species has taught us something we had forgotten. Technology is not good or evil by itself. It depends on how we choose to use it." "We've all learned important lessons during this war," Hyunwoo replied. "Humans learned that power without wisdom is dangerous. Aliens learned that limiting growth out of fear only creates bigger problems later." Dr. Yoon-young Shin joined them on the bridge. She had been working with alien scientists for months, developing new uses for human adaptive technology. "The healing beam technology is spreading across the galaxy," she reported. 23 species have requested help upgrading their medical systems. The Etherian Collective wants assistance repairing damage to their home star. "What about the opposition?" Min-ho asked. "Shrinking every day," Admiral Zekthar answered. "When species see their neighbors benefiting from human technology, it becomes hard to argue that humans are a threat. Through the viewing window, they could see the most remarkable sight of all. The Indomitable was using its reality-shaping weapons to construct a new space station. But instead of building it normally, the ship was growing it like a living organism. The station adapted to the needs of its future inhabitants as it took shape. The station will house the new Galactic Technology Council," Dr. Shin explained. "Human and alien scientists working together to develop safe applications for advanced technology." "No more artificial limits on research?" Hyunwoo asked. "No more research without ethical oversight," Min-ho corrected. "The difference is very important." On the main screen, a communication arrived from Earth. President Sora Choi appeared, calling from the United Nations building. "Admiral Kim," the president said, "the final vote has been completed. The Terran Accords have been signed by 47 species. Humanity is officially designated as the galaxy's unbound species." "What does that mean exactly?" Hyunwoo asked. "It means humans are free to develop any technology they can imagine, with only one restriction. You must share your discoveries with species that request them." Admiral Zekthar added, "In return, humanity becomes the guardian of galactic technological advancement. When species reach the limits of their understanding, they can ask humans for help." Dr. Shin smiled. "It's what we've always done anyway. We see a problem and figure out how to solve it." "Sir," Taehyun called from his weapons station. Long range. Sensors are detecting something unusual at the galaxy's edge. Multiple contacts, but they're not using any technology we recognize. Hyun-woo walked over to examine the sensor data. The readings showed massive objects moving between star systems, but they didn't match any known ship designs. How long until they reach concordate space? He asked. At their current speed, about 8 months, Soo-jin calculated. Admiral Zekthar studied the data with interest. These readings remind me of something from our oldest historical records. Ancient stories about visitors from beyond our galaxy. Are you saying we're about to meet aliens from outside the Milky Way? Dr. Shin asked. It's possible, and if their technology is as advanced as these readings suggest, the galaxy may need humanity's adaptation abilities more than ever. Hyun-woo felt familiar excitement. A new challenge, something unknown that would require human creativity to understand and handle. Admiral, President Choi said from the screen, are you prepared to lead humanity's response to this new situation? With respect, Madam President, I think you're asking the wrong question. How so? You asked if I'm prepared to lead humanity's response. But humanity isn't alone anymore. This should be a galactic response, led by the best minds from all species, working together. Admiral Zekthar nodded with approval. Spoken like a true guardian species. 5 days later, the Indomitable led a mixed fleet toward the galaxy's edge. Human ships flew alongside Vorthak battlecruisers, Etherian energy beings, and vessels from dozens of other species. The fleet represented something new in galactic history, true cooperation between species with different capabilities. On the bridge, Hyun-woo's crew worked alongside alien officers. The ship's evolved consciousness had learned to accommodate different types of thinking. Vorthak tactical analysis, Etherian energy manipulation, and human adaptability all contributed to the ship's growing intelligence. Sir, reported the ship's science officer, a Meridian named Veltar whose crystalline form could process quantum data directly. We're approaching the contact zone. I'm reading massive energy signatures ahead. The unknown objects came into view on the main screen. They were unlike anything anyone had ever seen. Not ships, but what looked like living creatures the size of small moons. They moved through space without any visible means of propulsion. They're beautiful, Dr. Shin whispered. The creatures were indeed magnificent. Their surfaces shimmered, with colors that had no names. Energy patterns flowed across their forms like aurora on a planetary scale. Are they alive, or are they machines? Taehyun asked. Does it matter? Hyun-woo replied. The real question is, are they friendly? As if responding to his words, one of the creatures turned toward the fleet. It pulsed with gentle light, and suddenly every ship received the same message in their own language. Greetings, children of this galaxy. We are the gardeners. We tend the cosmos, helping young civilizations learn to grow beyond their limitations. Sir, Veltar said with excitement in his crystalline voice, their technology appears to be based on principles we've never seen before. They're using consciousness itself as a tool for manipulating reality. We have watched your recent growth with great interest, the message continued. The species you call human has learned to break through barriers that have held your galaxy back for millions of years. But growth without wisdom leads to destruction. We offer to teach you the next step in your evolution. Hyun-woo exchanged glances with his mixed crew. Human and alien faces all showed the same expression, wonder mixed with caution. What do they want in return? Admiral Zekthar asked. The answer came immediately. Nothing. Teaching is its own reward. But you must choose carefully. The knowledge we offer will change your entire galaxy forever. There will be no returning to what you were before. Dr. Shin stepped forward. What kind of knowledge are you offering? How to use technology not just to manipulate matter and energy, but to nurture consciousness itself. How to help entire civilizations evolve beyond their current limitations. How to become gardeners of intelligence across the cosmos. The implications were staggering. Technology that could accelerate the mental and spiritual growth of entire species. The ability to help civilizations solve problems they couldn't even imagine yet. Admiral, came a transmission from Earth. It was President Choi, but her image was shared with leaders from across the galaxy. The Galactic Council has reached a unanimous decision. We accept the Gardener's offer to teach us. Are you certain about this? Hyun-woo asked. Once we learn this knowledge, we can never unlearn it. That's what makes us who we are, the president replied. Humans have never backed down from learning something new just because it was dangerous. Admiral Zekthar added, and the rest of the galaxy has learned to trust human judgment about when to take such risks. Hyun-woo looked around his bridge one more time, human and alien crew members working together. Technology that could reshape reality being used to heal and create instead of destroy. A galaxy learning to grow beyond artificial limitations. This is Admiral Hyun-woo Kim of the Galactic Defense Fleet, he broadcast to the gardeners. On behalf of the civilizations of the Milky Way galaxy, we accept your offer to teach us. The lead gardener pulsed with warm light. Then let your real education begin. As the massive beings approached the fleet, Hyun-woo thought about how far they had all come. The Indomitable had started as an illegal weapon. Now, it was the flagship of a new kind of civilization, one that used power to nurture growth instead of enforcing limits. The ship that had been declared too dangerous to exist had become the symbol of unlimited potential guided by wisdom, and this was just the beginning. Dr. Yoon Young-shin's voice came over the ship's communication system. Admiral, I'm reading incredible changes in the quantum field around us. I think they're about to show us how consciousness and technology can work together. All hands, Hyun-woo.